But we want to make games more than simulators, and games are to be enjoyable for every kind of motorbike fans, from hardcore gamers to casual gamers.
It's Saturday, you guys. Unusual time for a new episode of Nitro Nights, I know, but there's a damn good reason for it. Because it has finally been available for 2 days now. The brand new MotoGP 21 game. We've already invested a fair amount of time providing you with our first impressions. And if you haven't done so yet, check out the game review on our YouTube channel. But of course, we wouldn't be Nitro Nights without having another treat in store for you. Today's guest is the official game design manager of developer Milestone, Andrea Basilio. The crucial question we want to answer with him is, how realistic is MotoGP 21 when it comes to graphics and gameplay? So stretch your wrists and let's go. So first of all, here are a few basics that we already know. The game runs on the Unreal Engine 4, just like its predecessor, MotoGP 20. There are some adjustments for light and shadow effects, as well as newly implemented bike animations. And also some new components, such as the brake disc temperature and the new bike retrieval feature. Now let's find out more about all these new features and visuals with the man who knows best about all of them. Welcome and thanks for taking the time, Andrea.
Hi, hello everyone.
You've already worked on so many other motorbike games, including Ride, MXGP, and of course the MotoGP series. How has game design changed since then, and what matters most these days?
Well, we work at me and the Milestone team on a good number of games, bike games, on different franchises. The design over the years evolves a lot, for us it's important on the design side push on two aspects: the faithfulness of the experience and the accessibility of the title. Following these rules, the new MotoGP, for instance. For the new MotoGP, is important to recreate a believable MotoGP world in order to put the players in a reality where they are proper riders that race against their heroes like Valentino or Marquez. In the same time, we have created the proper simulators, not just MotoGP, also the other games, but we want to make games more than simulators, and games are to be enjoyable for every kind of motorbike fans, from hardcore gamers to casual gamers. In this field, MotoGP 21 make a big step further, adding a new kind of riding helps in order to guide the players not just to not fall off from a bike, but how to actually ride the bike. So how to it's important for the game teach to the players how to properly ride a bike.
Let's talk about more also about the realism goals. What realism goals did you set yourself during the development process of MotoGP 21?
In MotoGP 21 we have worked hard on the bike handling, that is the most important part of the game, that is now more believable and understandable, especially in the low grip kind of situation. The game features also a new system that is the braking temperature system. The braking temperature is a crucial element in the races, making the brake work in the right range of temperature is very important for the real riders, and so we do in the same way in the game. So the players has to understand how it is working and actually how to use it in the strategy way, in the right strategy way. We also add the option to retrieve the bike manually. So in this game, the player, when fall down from the bike, can run to the bike and set it up, jump on it, and go again on the racetrack. And as the last point of the realism that we put in MotoGP 21 is that we follow the 2021 MotoGP rules. So we add also the penalty, long lap penalty system.
Very, very interesting. So four-wheel enthusiasts have the opportunity to simulate the real driving experience through advanced hardware such as wheels and pedals. But do motorbike games currently reach their limits because they are mostly played with a controller?
Well, I think the limit is still far, so we will reach it in years, I guess.
Yeah.
There are just few bike simulator in the world, and are very expensive. Even them are not 100% realistic. Luckily for gamers, there are new hardware that helps a lot to give an improvement feedbacks to an accessible price, actually.
Yeah, and I guess feedback is a really, really big thing for the players, which is really, really important. We also asked our community how important realism is to them. So many people said it was very, very important. To what extent do you take this feedback into account when developing a game?
Gamers' feedbacks are really useful in order to understand the community sentiment, but also more precious when you work on a licensed games with a lot of fans of the real sport, because they help you out to have a better understanding of the correct sport representation. Speaking about the MotoGP series, realism and faithfulness to the real championship are the most important pillars of the game. And with MotoGP 21, we push the realism even further, and I think with the players will be very happy this year with our result.
You just said that you also take feedback from the riders. So how closely do you work also with the official GP and their riders? Do you get a lot of feedback from them?
Well, we have a strong relationship with Dorna, that is the organizer of the championship, and from the very beginning of the MotoGP series, we have the great opportunity to speak with a lot of riders, not only about the game handling, but also on how to reproduce the feeling to be a real World Championship rider. Over the years, we have feedbacks from most of the current MotoGP riders. The cool thing is that some of them are growing with the game, from Moto 3 or Moto 2 to the MotoGP category. They start giving us feedback as newcomer in minor categories, and they are now MotoGP winners. Some riders also using the game as a training device and actually training together with the MotoGP eSport pro athletes, sharing and blending virtual and real knowledge.
Andrea, thank you so much for being with us today. It was an absolute pleasure and so interesting talking to you. If there's anything you would like to share or say hello to someone, here's your time to shine.
Thanks a lot for having in this amazing place. Actually, hopefully for the next MotoGP, I will be there in Berlin and not from home, but hopefully. So thanks again.
We haven't reached the checkered flag yet, since we also chatted to a true MotoGP esports pro about his thoughts on the new game. Because who would be better for that than the 2019 MotoGP esports world champion? Am I right? Ladies and gents, AndrewZH.
From the first time I went out on the track, I immediately had a good feeling, and in my opinion, progress has been made from every point of view. Surely the most important difference can be seen in the braking phase, which has changed a lot compared to last year. The cornering has also been improved. It is possible to be smoother, especially with a good setup, making it very similar to MotoGP in 19. For now, there are no things that I don't particularly like, while instead I hope that in the future they will add the possibility of dynamic weather. A more realistic graphics and gameplay experience is essential to increase the level and fan base of esports more and more, but at the same time, in my opinion, for me, there must always be the possibility to disable some very realistic functions, since not always whoever approaches the game for the first time is an expert. Obviously, the simulation achieved by 4 wheels cannot be compared with that of 2 wheels. I believe that simulating the physics and behavior of a car is easier than for a motorcycle, also because today there are steering wheels and pedals of the highest level. Every year we improve more and more in terms of realism, even in the 2 wheels, but obviously using the controllers there are limits.
That already brings us to the end of today's show. I really hope you enjoyed it, so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. And don't forget to visit our homepage, overtake.gg, for even more fancy sim racing content, such as news, tutorials, interviews, and event coverage. We will be back with another episode of Nitro Nights in 2 weeks. Until then, stay safe and, of course, buckle up. All right, that's it, you guys. Great job, everyone. So let's play some MotoGP already. You're in? No? You're in? Nice. Let's go. Thanks for tuning into today's episode. If you want to watch our entire MotoGP game review, here's your chance to do so. And there's another special video you definitely don't want to miss out, the second episode of Epic Factor. Yes, you heard it right. This time it's all about Coenda Sim Sports' Mitchell de Jong and his path to the very top of esports racing. Enjoy and see you next time.